Atomic Monsoon.
Welcome to the Monsoon.
Hey, welcome back to Atomic Monsoon, the maelstrom of pop culture discussion.
Woo! Woohoo! We're back.
You know our names, but just in case, I'm Andy.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Stephanie.
And thanks again to our friends, the Def M All-Stars, these guys at Def M Records that did our theme music for us.
Yes,
Hoorah.
indeed.
If you want to follow them, check them out at defmrecords.com. All kinds of good stuff. I'm a big fan of the 45 Syndicate and the Saturn III, which are two bands that you can get there. I've seen the Dead Gear live several times, so they're all a bunch of good dudes over there.
Right
Awesome.
on, man.
Yeah.
Right on.
You know,
Is it a large variety of music, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
I haven't had a chance to actually go check it out yet. I've just
so-
the stuff that we've had for editing. I would
Right.
like to do.
yeah. So 45 Syndicate's more of an instrumental surf band.
Okay.
So if you're into surf music, right?
Radical.
Yeah. 60s Batman TV show kind of background incidental music. Saturn III is like a stoner rock, doom metal kind of band.
Okay.
But a lot of it is kind of secretly nerd themed. Right.
Okay.
There's a song called Colossus in Tokyo, something like that. Tokyo Colossus. It's about Godzilla.
Okay.
Nice.
Right on.
Yeah. There's a song that's it's like Clowns and Pills or something, and it's about Akira. So,
Okay.
Yeah, like lots of
right.
cool, like kind of subversive, like nerd music in there.
Very nice.
Nerd rock.
Yeah, Dead Gear's like a cool blues rock and roll band.
Nerd rock.
Yeah. So
That needs to be a genre, I think.
Yes. Make this a genre.
Old Man Kleesner is a guy that actually recorded a demo in the 90s, but he's like the friend of the brother of someone that works there. So they got a hold of it and got a hold of him and worked out releasing it. And it's like that album just sounds like 1995.
Okay.
So, like super kind of post-grunge,
right.
Very nice.
that kind of very
nice.
mid-90s
Yeah.
sound. So, lots of good stuff over at Def M Records. Definitely go check them out.
Yeah. Some show we should actually start by saying each other's wrong names. So, like, we call each other by the wrong name. So it's like, hi, I'm Josh. I'm Stephanie. I'm Mandy.
Yeah.
Just confuse the... Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, why did Josh sound suddenly, like, so much more feminine?
Hey, speaking of finding stuff online, we have an Instagram account now.
Woo!
Hey, right
So
on.
we're already at Atomic Monsoon on Twitter and Facebook.com/Atomic Monsoon, and you can email us at atomicmonsoon@gmail.com, and we're on Redbubble at atomicmonsoon.redbubble.com, and now you can find us at atomic_monsoon on Instagram. We've already got more followers on Instagram than we do on Twitter, and I set it up like 2 days ago.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Nice little segue here for both talking about male things being feminine and Instagram. Internet culture this week
Oh my God.
exploded with
Oh
a
my
new
God.
character. It is
Yeah.
everywhere, and it's morphed into multiple characters, and it's gone nuts. And if you haven't seen Bowsette yet,
I don't
what
know
closet of
that
the
I
world
have
are you hiding
seen-
in? I want to join you.
I don't know that I've seen anything online blow up as quickly as Bowsette.
No, I don't think I have either.
Okay, I think I might be the one living under the rock, because the only thing I've seen explode in the past couple of weeks is literally a meme called Bongo Cat. And it's literally this cat playing either piano, bongos, or whatever.
And people putting different music to it and stuff.
Yeah.
That one's been nice, but people have now forgotten about that and moved on to Bowsette.
Well, that was quick. I'm still watching all the Bongo Cat videos.
Yeah, it was.
So what happened was Nintendo announced that Super Mario Bros. Wii U is coming to the Nintendo Switch, and there's a new power-up in it that is the Super Crown,
Yes.
right? And
I've seen the Super Crown memes.
right, so this is basically that. It's there in the video they show Toadette putting on the crown, and she kind of becomes Princess Peach, but is still Toadette. So someone. And it was like the 19th of September, so it wasn't even that long ago.
No.
Like someone on Twitter or Instagram or whatever did a sketch of like, what if Bowser put on the Super Crown and became Bowsette? And it was like, okay, cool. And then it was just everywhere.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Like timeline, like all of my social media timelines are just covered in Bowsette.
Apparently,
stuff.
I don't know enough people who follow Mario.
See, and that's the weird thing is like I don't like really follow anybody on my social media that would normally have stuff like that, but it's
Yeah.
everywhere in my timeline, like absolutely everywhere.
Well, so
and
with
they're doing all
Bongo
kinds of crazy like just mashups with it, like with a King Bouette and there's the Bowsette, there's a Dry Bonesette, like it just everything, Chompette, Bullet Billette, like
they're all over the place, and some of them I just showed Stephanie this random one I found real quick on my phone. Like some of them are just really gorgeous pieces of art.
Oh yeah, some of the artwork is just blowing me away. It's crazy. The one thing I don't understand is why is it Et? I get the original one with the Toadette thing, but shouldn't it be like Poozer or something, just because it's Peach and Bowser? Like,
Poozer sounds super dirty.
DC,
and not in like the good
way. No, you're right. I mean, it should be like a Bowich or a Bowser or something. Hey, it's the name that stuck. Right?
Yeah, it's just.
I mean, at least sounds better than the other names that we just spilled. So
yeah. I don't know. It is what it. I mean,
it's weird. It's random, but I mean, it's fun, and it's innocent fun for the most part.
So
the old Rule 34.
I have seen a lot of the Rule 34 stuff.
So right now we're gonna take bets and see how many people cosplay this.
It was the next day after the people started putting stuff up there. There were some of the major cosplayers were already throwing it out there. Yeah, it's.
So I'm gonna make a weird tangent now off of this meme, the meme of Bowsette. Even though it's not really a meme, it's just like people are like just blowing it up.
It's basically
a meme. Yeah. There's been this comic I've been seeing posted, and it's not really nerdy. I just wanted to talk about it because it's positively adorable.
Sure.
But it's like this, this guy brings home a giant dog that looks vicious and evil, like he will eat your soul. And then he's like, "Hey, Pixie, here's your brand new big brother." And Pixie's like this adorable tiny little kitten. And
I did see this one. Yes.
Yeah, and it's like every time I read that, I just hear Pixie with this like, "I'm Pixie. I have a cute little voice." And
he's got the little sneezer, like, "I'm just 3.5 years old" kind of voice.
Exactly. And then I hear the big dog Brutus like, "What's up, I'm Brutus." Like, just I can't do the good voice.
I'm Brutus.
Maybe not that deep. But just not
Dr. Claw. Come on,
When in doubt, go Dr. Claw.
But no, I saw it and I'm like, I wanted to briefly mention how adorable it is, and I continue to share it every time I see it. So
right, and he goes and he runs off and puts on his Halloween costume. He's like, "Did I scare you?" And he's like, "Yes, you scared me very much."
And it was so cute.
Yeah,
sorry,
it's pretty sweet.
So anyway, let's go back to nerd stuff.
Well, we keep hitting a little bit of the video game information. We got some new announcements, PlayStation wise. They're actually allowing crossplay finally between platforms, but only on Fortnite.
Okay,
of course.
So for right now, it's just Fortnite.
But is this all platforms?
Yes. So now Xbox, PC, the Switch, and PlayStation can all play against each other if you enable the feature on your.
Wow.
Or they will be soon once the feature is available in the update.
What about cell phones? Because I know you can play on cell phones now.
I believe that falls into the PC category with the crossplay, but I'm not exactly 100% certain on there.
Interesting.
So, interesting. And then we also had the Xbox announce that they're going to be having the mouse and keyboard update come out for preview members soon. So if you're a preview member, make sure you have your update enabled to where you can get that. If you want to go ahead and try it out, it's going to be available on... I can't remember what games they were saying it was going to be, but there's going to be a couple games they're going to be testing it out on.
Neat.
Okay.
And, it's finally the home consoles are starting to get mouse and keyboard adapter
for people who want to play with that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
which is, especially with this whole crossplay thing going when they're trying to do a lot of competitive stuff like on Fortnite.
Yeah.
It's a real handicap if you got a controller and somebody else has got that mouse and keyboard. The response time is really ridiculous. So
I kind of wish I liked Fortnite. I kind of want to play like I just I have a Switch, but I don't have a PS4 or an Xbox One, and it'd be cool to play games with my friends without having the console limitations, right?
Yeah.
Warframe.
Nice.
That was the first game that was getting it. Warframe.
Okay.
Which makes sense. It's a big PC game and everything like free to play and stuff. So
cool.
And it's got a huge community now on Xbox, so they're getting that one. That will be the first game, and then a few others are getting the option to enable it. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes over, and if they're might become a staple where you can use mouse and keyboard on any of your games. So it'll really be interesting.
Yeah.
So Xbox is really pushing that PC type compatibility, like just where they'll be either way.
I almost feel like Microsoft is making the Xbox One obsolete by themselves with all the crossplay between the Xbox One and the PC, and then hey, if you buy it on Xbox One, you get.
I kind of feel like they're trying to just make it to where it's like if you have Microsoft stuff, you can just use your stuff anywhere.
Yeah,
which makes sense. Like it's something you need to do. I'm just waiting for the day when finally they and Nintendo just be like, hey, you know what? Let's just make our stuff compatible because then we don't have to create an entire separate thing. We can just have our handheld that links up to your thing, and then it all on the screen, and just it would make more sense. But
I don't know.
We'll see where things will go with that.
Yeah.
Speaking of PlayStation as well,
sure.
The PS Classic. We talked last week about their power cord situation,
about how it doesn't ship.
and I would like to think that it was because of our podcast that it came out, because
why
the day
else?
of our podcast there was an announcement put out that they officially said no, it will not come with a power cord, but it will work with most. Parentheses, quotation mark here. Most cell phone chargers, your bricks that you get for it. But the caveat is you have to double check, because it has to be a 5-volt, 1-amp charger.
Okay.
If it's not, you will take the risk of frying your PlayStation. Remember that.
So,
double check your phone thing. It's something that a lot of people don't think about. They think, oh, it's got a USB thing, I can just use it.
Right.
No, that's not the way it works. You can ruin your devices if you have the wrong amperage. You put something in there that's got like a 5-amp,
So we called it then?
Yes,
kinda.
You kind of did stuff.
Yeah.
Just
remember that 5-volt, and which is going to be a lot of the Samsung ones will not work. We checked your
my old
iPhone. It was an older one.
Right. It was an iPod Touch I bought in 2005.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, but it's the same brick. Apple had made the one brick, and they keep using it. So
That's fair.
So you did double check, because I looked online and there was a couple different versions of the iPhone that used more amperage with it, because bigger screens, different batteries and stuff like that. So double check, and any of your bricks, if you get one before you plug it in straight into your PlayStation, make sure you've got the right power requirements. Because you definitely don't want to plug that thing in and go, wait, what? Why isn't it working here?
That thing's not coming out till next year anyways, right?
Yeah, we got plenty of time. So and it's just really weird that they were so like, no, we will not be shipping it with a power cord. It's only going to be a USB. It just
such a bizarre
especially
decision.
with the $99 price tag.
Right.
Because you know what? The Nintendo one comes with a power cord.
Yeah, and 2 controllers.
Yeah.
And the Super NES was $80.
Yeah, so which is still pricey.
Which is pricey, but hey man, for $20 less, I still get my 20 games, and okay, there's 16-bit games and not 32-bit games, but okay, I still get 20 games, 2 controllers, and a power cord.
Yeah.
Right?
It's true.
So it just, it's interesting to see where they're going with it, but, hey, more power to them. I'm still excited to see what official games they're going to put on it.
Yeah, they haven't announced anything since the 5 last week.
Not that I've seen yet.
Okay.
So we're still waiting on that, and there's more and more people talking about what we had talked about before with the lack of the analog controller and everything. So it'll be interesting to see what ends up on it.
Yeah.
Some other information for those of you out there that are excited like I am about Red Dead 2 coming out soon. Free up some space on your console or your PC. They announced the download size for it for your installation. It's
How big is it?
105 gigabytes.
What?
Yeah.
What?
So if you're buying it digital, make sure you've got plenty of space on your allotment of download. But 105 gigabytes is the install size for this game.
So that's if you buy it digitally.
No, that's you
That's
remember your
general.
PlayStation and Xboxes. You have to install things still.
Yeah.
So
oh my god.
Yeah, that's the install size on it.
I've had computers that don't have that much space on
Well,
them.
I mean, to be fair, some other games like the other thing is I didn't see if this is going to be for the 4K upgrade either, because like Xbox, like there's some games if it's 4K compatible, it's even bigger.
Right.
Of a
my
download.
God.
More resolution.
Yeah, so I haven't been able to find out if that includes the 4K or and it's just standard across all or what's going on here. So
that's
it's a
insanity.
big download. Then if you're buying it digitally, man, that's a big chunk of your data allotment. If you're on a.
Do you remember back in the Super Nintendo and Genesis days when they would be like, hey, here's our new game. It's 16 megs.
Man, I was when I saw this, I was looking at the 105 gigabyte. I was like, man, I remember my first PlayStation memory card had the 8 megabyte.
Right.
And I was like, 8 megabytes? Are you kidding me?
Right.
And now we're like 8 megabytes. That's not how that.
Yeah.
I was just like, I was watching some videos about Super Metroid, and they were like, this game was huge. It was a 32 megabyte cartridge. And I was like, I have text files now that are bigger than 32 megabytes.
It's true.
Yeah, and so you're thinking about the old, learn how to...
Bill Gates said you will never need more than 2 megabytes of hard drive space on your computer.
Yeah.
Oh, well, here we are.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, that was shortly after the Commodore 64 days.
Oh,
where we were,
right.
loading
it was
50 Lodestar games on a, 6 kilobyte...
Right, but
floppy disk. But
yeah, I mean, I know that was the early 80s or whatever, but it was still like, we will never need more than 2 megabytes of hard drive space, and here we are, like, we're making fake Western video games now that are 105 gigabytes.
Do you remember when they did that one, and this is dating us a little bit, but when CDs were coming out as a format medium for Windows, and Bill Gates did that publicity photo where he was up in a redwood tree with a stack of paper up to where he was and holding a CD, and they're like, this much paper can go on this one CD, and it was just like,
That's fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah, so
All right.
that's 105 gigabytes seems ridiculous, but when you're thinking that you've got
in 20 years, it'll be like 105 gigabytes. That's nothing.
It's not a Yoda byte. What do we care?
Yeah.
It's just but just be warned there for that.
Stephanie,
and then,
the early 90s were a very strange time, technologically speaking. Be glad you missed it.
Yay!
Yeah.
90s, baby. Yeah. So, I actually have some video game stuff too.
What's going on?
Yeah.
What you got?
So, LucasArts, more like, wow. I just completely forgot the name of the name of the actual company, but that actually is behind all of this. But it's pretty much a Star Wars thing. They've announced a Vader Immortal virtual reality game that they're going to be creating here soon. And from what it sounds like you're pretty much going to be following Vader and, be fighting and doing a lot of stuff like that, but on his home turf. Which means you'll get to explore his palace on Mustafar that you see in Rogue One.
Oh, interesting.
So we'll get to see a little bit there. I don't know. They haven't released a lot of details. It's just all we know that it is called Vader Immortal. So it sounds really cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
So I need to get VR.
It's hard to go wrong with Vader most of the time. I mean,
Yeah.
But the fact that there's no
other than the
centralized Vader.
I gotta be honest. That scene doesn't bother me at all.
That's about the only thing that you can be like, oh no. But otherwise, like everything Vader's gold.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to do with it. Speaking of Star Wars stuff, Kathleen Kennedy got a 3-year extension for working on the Star Wars universe. And depending on how you feel about things that have been going on since she took over, that's either hoorah or meh. So in the online, it's very divided. A lot of people love her, a lot of people hate her. It's just it is what it is. But she got an extension on there, so there will be more Star Wars stuff with Kathleen Kennedy. Now, but the rate begs the question, like, isn't 9 the last of the numbered, and they put off a bunch of other stuff for the next couple of years? So even with that 3 years extension, will she really be involved other than pre-production with much?
Can we just talk about the fact that in the matter of 3 years, they released 4 films, 2 TV series, a crappy ton of video games. I'm trying to hold off on cursing here. A crap ton of video games and like.
Well, because I know that was one of the things they've been talking a lot about is
like
oversaturation.
Like 150 comics.
Yeah, no, like they've done a lot in just 3 years.
Yeah.
I know that was one of the big criticisms, and one of the things that they addressed is just about oversaturation, maybe trying to do too much too quick and doing too much. And they put a bunch of stuff on the back burner. So I don't even know how much other than pre-production stuff they're actually she'll be doing in the next 3 years. But
I mean,
she'll probably, I imagine it's going to be laying the groundwork for what they're going to be doing next. Yeah.
I mean,
so we'll see. We'll either get more Kathleen Kennedy Star Wars stuff, or she'll just be overseeing stuff until they do put out more stuff. So I don't know. It'll be interesting, but more power to her. We'll see what comes up next and see how she does.
Yeah, no, I'm at least excited and glad to hear that she's still sticking around. And oddly, when you bring that up. There's been an article that's been going around since Ray Park was on an episode of the Star Wars show, and I've seen this episode and it's great. But Ray Park is talking with, I think it's Andy or Anthony Gutierrez from the Star Wars show, and they ask him, like, how did you feel seeing yourself come back on the big screen? He's like, I don't really know. And you're like, what do you mean you don't know? Well, because the moment I came back on, Ewan McGregor, who was sitting right next to me, immediately grabbed me and started shaking me and freaking out like, it's you! And hearing that literally makes my day, to the point where I'm like, the fact that Ewan McGregor is geeking out over like this villain that he technically killed as Obi-Wan years and years ago in this like epic way made me smile so hard.
That's great.
So, just a little brief fun knowledge about that. But Andy, you have video game stuff too, don't you?
Yeah, well, just a couple quick notes. One, because I mentioned it in one of our earlier episodes, Dragon Ball FighterZ comes out today. It's Dragon Ball Fighter Z, but the Z is stylized to be capital. because it's Dragon Ball and it's Dragon Ball Z, right?
Okay.
So but it's Dragon Ball Fighters, and I don't know how to pronounce that. Dragon Ball Fighters.
I think they actually put a thing out when it came out on PS4 and Xbox that it is Fighters.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
We'd just like to add extra emphasis on that. Zzz.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the Doritos Extreme. It's just an X.
Extreme. Yeah.
Same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Fighters.
Anyway, Dragon Ball Fighters is out today. It's Friday, the September 28th. When we're recording this, let me pull back the curtain. I don't know when you're listening, but we're recording on September 28th.
Do not pay attention to the man behind the curtain.
Right? Yeah. So I'm excited. I pre-ordered it, so that'll be at my house tonight when I get home.
I don't know about the Switch version, but the Xbox one.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Yes, I'm sorry. People are going to be like, no, what are you talking about? This game's only a year old. Yes, the Switch version comes out today. And if you pre-ordered it, you also get a download code for Super Budoten, which was an old Super Famicom game that never got released in the US. I may have downloaded that onto my Switch during my lunch break today.
We won't tell.
It's completely in Japanese. No, I was on my lunch break. It was
Okay,
fine.
fair enough.
It's fine. But it's completely in Japanese. They didn't bother translating it. They're just like, nope, here's the Super Famicom ROM. Figure it out. And so I was like, well, okay.
I remember we had a friend of mine that ordered a few of those just from, I'm sure you remember back in the 90s, you get those Japanese catalogs with, you didn't know what any of it was except for the price in US dollars. Like, you're like, okay, hey, yeah, that's a Dragon Ball fighting game. Let's get one of those, one of these, oh, hey, what's this, like, Aerith puzzle thing? I don't know. Let's get it anyway.
Sure.
Nice.
That kind of stuff. But we got to play a few of those on the Super Nintendo. We didn't know who the characters were for some of them because it was further ahead than the series that we had gotten to see.
Because by the time Dragon Ball came to the US, it was over in Japan.
Yeah.
By the time we saw Dragon Ball Z in America in 96, it was done. It had been done for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So
and with for me and my friends, we had a few random episodes that I had a pen pal in Japan would send me. He'd literally tape it on TV and send it to me with him doing his own really bad trying to dub it. Or not even dub it, just trying to put the subtitles with and just trying to do that direct translation. It was really bad. So we're sitting there what is what? And so we knew some of the characters that there would be a big gap because we missed 12 episodes in between. The next time that he could record an episode, so we're just wait, huh? But
your fighting spirit is moose-like and glorious.
Yeah.
What?
Wait, what is this about bubblegum and the theme song? I don't understand. What is going on? Why do we all need bubblegum?
I don't know. Because it's delicious.
But those the Super Nintendo Dragon Ball games were a lot of fun.
They're a lot of fun. I did mess around with Budoden a little bit today, and it's fun, but it's very much from the early 90s.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't age.
Was that the one where they started doing you could fly and actually they had
the
vertical?
Split screen?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I can remember if that was the one or not.
Yeah, and it's fun. I suspect that anyone that pre-ordered Fighters on the Switch is going to try it out and be like, well, that was 10 minutes of my life I'm not getting back. But because my friends are all super nerdy, we're probably going to give it a little bit more playtime.
I mean, I went after we talked about it last time about the beat 'em up pack, the Capcom one. I really went and bought that and played some Knights of the Round.
Yeah. I beat the hell's it called? King of Dragons.
Nice.
Beat that the other night, and then after I was done with work today and I was waiting to record, I was just playing Captain Commando. So, yeah.
I was playing Knights of the Round, and I finally got far enough in the game where I could see the final transformation for Percival, and I went,
nice.
Where did his pants go?
Honey,
that was interesting. All those years, I read that game so many times, and it was so hard. We could only ever get so far in the game. It was just
the Super NES versions were harder than the arcades.
So brutal.
Yeah.
And finally got that far in the game. Went, okay.
Where go Percy pants?
He gets more and more armor and loses his pants.
Yeah, that's science.
Insert Lego movie joke here.
It was very interesting.
Hey, speaking of Capcom video games and the Switch, Mega Man 11 comes out this coming Tuesday, October 2nd.
Yeah, that's actually something that makes me want to get a Switch, aside from just the fact that the Switch is awesome. But I love Mega Man.
Yeah.
Mega Man.
I pre-ordered that game as soon as I could. So, and I know there's a demo out of Concrete Man's level.
Yeah.
I haven't done that. I'm just I'm going into the game fresh. So if it's terrible, then it's $50 I'm out.
The only thing I've seen that people have honestly complained about is the fact that when you jump through the door into the boss areas, you don't stay in the air. You'll fall down and then walk through. Instead of the classic Mega Man's where you jump and it scrolls sideways and you're still in there. Yeah. That's the only thing I've really seen people actually complain about.
So the complaint is I drop earlier.
Yeah, it's basically like, oh, you guys took out that nostalgia because I mean, that was kind of, that even went through up to the more modern ones that they put out, like Mega Man 9 and stuff. That was still part of the mechanic in there. So that's literally the only thing I've seen anybody say bad about it.
Okay, if that's the complaint that people have, that's not a complaint. That's
no. Exactly. It's like, that's literally the only complaint I've seen.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Yeah, no, so I'm excited for that. I will theoretically order it for Amazon Prime, so it should be at my house exactly on Tuesday. I'll let you guys know how I feel about it.
Right on.
Cool.
My last little bit of video is Destiny 2 Forsaken came out recently. I finally got through on the campaign for that and in the official in-game stuff now, and it's really well done. My biggest criticism for Destiny has been their lack of embracing their lore. The first game had so much lore that they just kind of put in the back page with having it included in an app that you had to go to read things, and just it wasn't actually in the game. And then with the second game, they kind of just lore here, we're going to throw a few things in there, but not really care about it.
Okay.
And this one, they definitely, you can see there was actually someone that was the person writing it actually cared about it and wanted to express things and wanted to put stuff out there and really delved deep into the lore from the past to kind of tie a lot of things together that didn't make sense from the first game. That you're just kind of like, wait, what? Because that was such a hodgepodge of they had this grandiose story, and then it got, nope, we're scrapping all of that. We're just going to do this game, and then they put pieces of it in there. Just it kind of turned into a mess. It was a good gameplay, solid gameplay, but
which is the important part.
Yeah, lore-wise, it was really kind of lacking.
Okay,
but this Forsaken DLC was really well done. Cool. The gameplay, of course, it's Destiny. It's great, and then them adding in a lot of really good story elements and everything, and just without trying to spoil anything, just it really ties a lot of stuff back together. If you're a fan of Destiny, I know the price tag can be a little bit daunting because it's another $40 you got to plump down to be able to play it, but it's actually worth it. They've updated so much of the game, they fixed so much that was problems from year one on it that it really is a solid game. So definitely check that out if you're a Destiny fan.
Okay.
All right. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. I was very far away. All right. So I guess I'm going to take it over to kind of some TV stuff.
Sure.
Cool.
So this last week, I want to say Monday, was it? This technically Monday all the way till now and all the way until Sunday is kind of premiere week for a lot of fall shows coming back. Yeah. Whether new seasons, new shows, whatever. I kind of wrote down a couple of the shows that are going to come back and I'm mainly doing this based off of the prime time, the prime networks, so NBC, ABC, Fox, CBS.
The Big Five.
The Big Five.
Yeah.
So if you guys also have some as well, go ahead and throw them in there. But
just the one.
Just the one. All right. So the shows that have come back for this season, there's the 27th season, Dancing with the Stars, like I've mentioned. The Voice is back. The series premiere of Magnum P.I.
Whoa! They remade Magnum P.I.?
They remade Magnum P.I.
Oh boy!
Yep. There's a new show called Manifest on NBC about a plane that disappears for 5 years and then comes back.
Huh?
Interesting.
Okay.
New Amsterdam, which I've mentioned before. New season of Lethal Weapon.
That show got renewed?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wasn't there some kind of crazy thing with one of the actors or something like that?
Probably. Obviously, there's a new season of How to Get Away with Murder. It's just an amazing show.
Okay.
There's a new season of MacGyver. I'm listing off show names here that I feel like some people are going what generation is this?
Yeah. Is this 1982 again?
Yeah. It's Roseanne and Murphy Brown and MacGyver and Magnum P.I. are on there. I'm just waiting for Airwolf, and then we'll have the trifecta there.
Well, speaking of Roseanne, there's the spin-off show called The Connors, which is the family minus her. There's been the Golden... Yeah.
That's an interesting workaround.
Yeah. So there's a lot of other shows. One show, I'm just going to segue here real quick. One show that I was a little disappointed to see was not coming back this fall, but there's a silver lining to it, is Designated Survivor. Have you guys seen Designated Survivor?
That's the one where the president and the vice president and all of the cabinet dies, and there's the one... Pretty much, one guy that's eighth in line or whatever.
Yeah, the guy who's the Secretary of Agriculture, who's you're the designated survivor, chill out at this location that nobody knows about.
Right.
And then suddenly the state capitol goes boom. Oh, by the way, now you're president now. So
this guy was not qualified to be president, but he's the next in the chain.
Yeah. Because he was, named designated survivor. So But it's a great show. I've loved it for the 2 seasons it's been on ABC. So it's sad that it got canceled before season 3 happened. But Netflix, thank you, has saved it, and it is going to be returning to Netflix. I don't know how soon, but I'm really excited that it's going to be continuing because it's such a great show. Kirkman for president.
So I just have the one show that came out. It's on ABC. It's The Goldbergs, right? It's the only modern show that I keep up with. But it's the modern show about a kid growing up in the 80s. Watching a bunch of nerd stuff, right? So yeah, hey Andy, we made this show for you.
It's our Wonder Years,
right?
Literally our Wonder Years.
No, so it's funny. I kind of made this comparison a while ago. Like in the 70s, we had
Happy Days
about the 50s. In the 80s, there was the Wonder Years about the 60s. In the 90s, there was that 70s show, obviously about the 70s. And now we've got the Goldbergs about the 80s. Although Goldbergs came a little bit late after, and it's there were a couple of other attempts at 80s nostalgia shows.
Yeah, they tried that 80s show that was horrible.
You know, not the best show.
No.
Yeah, but so Goldbergs came a little bit later, so we're kind of up in line for the next couple of years for a 90s nostalgia show. And then, like, we're going to get to the point not too far off from, like, probably 2025 where we're doing, like, a 2000s nostalgia show.
Yeah.
Like, man, this is weird.
A little surreal.
A little weird.
But yeah, no, I watched the Goldberg season premiere because it premiered on Wednesday. They put it on Hulu yesterday, so I watched it last night right before I went to bed. And they did a nice 16 Candles homage where they forgot Adam's birthday.
Whoops.
And his 16th birthday. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Also, we mentioned Murphy Brown coming back. An internet friend of mine, Gina Ippolito, is actually one of the writers on that show.
Oh, right.
Very
So
nice.
yeah,
Very nice.
so I just found out that it'll be on CBS's streaming thing, and then they'll have it on All Access later. So
Also,
I'm gonna
the
check that
series,
out.
the season finale, the final season of Big Bang Theory has started.
Okay.
So
All right.
there's also that.
South Park came back.
Oh, good.
New episode of that on Wednesday.
South Park's coming back. Simpsons, Family Guy, American Dad, the good, you know,
Yeah, everything.
everything.
Yeah.
Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
Another show that's coming on. This is a new one, and it's coming from the creators of Dancing with the Stars. It's called Dancing with the Stars Junior, so it's like the pint size version. It's like kid.
It's the Muppet Babies of Dancing with the Stars.
Pretty much, but like pro kids.
It's the exact same thing.
So, pretty much, it's like pro kids with like stars that are also kids. And I'm only going to list a couple of the kids that they've listed off here so far, but they have Stevie Wonder's son.
Okay.
They have Scottie Pippen's daughter.
All right.
They have, God, I regret saying this one. They have Honey Boo Boo.
Hey. She. Well,
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, at least we know what happened to her.
Yeah. And then this one I think is really kind of neat. They got a couple of other, like Disney kids, and then they have the girl who played young Gamora on in Infinity War.
That's cool.
And Tom Bergeron, the host of Dance with the Stars, try to ask her like, so can you give me any information on Avengers 4? And she's like, no. Like, this kid is smart. She's been trained well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sorry guys, no
Unlike
spoilers there.
Tom Holland.
Yeah. And then for me, just DC nerd. The Arrowverse is coming back here in the next couple of weeks, and they've been revealing more information about the giant crossover in December, which is now called Elseworlds.
Yeah.
Where they're going to be introducing Batwoman and everything else, and they also cast a obscure character for most comic book fans, but if you're a DC nerd like I am, it's a fantastic character. It's one of the Monitors, who's a character that kind of watches the timeline and protects the timeline a little bit, and it's kind of an obscure character, but it could be them going leading up to possibly doing a Crisis episode.
Could be.
Like a Crisis on Infinite Earths. It would be really interesting.
That wouldn't be a bad way to recast characters that have died or left.
That, and also there have been a lot of scuttlebutt because Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum have said hey, yeah, I mean, we might be interested in coming back for a episode maybe. There've been
yes.
there've been a lot of talks about they could bring in other people that played bring Dean Cain again.
Sure.
Have him play one of this Superman. They could literally just do hey, we can get a bunch of people that have played different roles over the years.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just
That would really tie it together.
Episode. Yeah, just to kind of I mean, I know Dean Cain was on Supergirl as her adopted dad and
No
stuff.
one's gonna care.
But no, nobody's going to care. If
Would they
you know,
dare pull someone from the live movies that are happening now?
They could, if DC allowed it. I mean, it wouldn't, you
Yeah.
know, just...
'Cause if they did, then it would really tie everything together.
They'd have to have the money to do that.
It would not have
Yeah.
to be a main character. It'd have to be like a minor one that we've seen a couple times now.
So maybe Perry White?
Maybe?
If we're gonna get Larry Fishburne,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
So, maybe?
I think he'd probably be too expensive still.
yeah,
My thought was just maybe getting like Amy Adams to come in and play like Lois Lane briefly.
could be.
Maybe.
I
Maybe.
don't
We'll
know.
see.
I mean, she also is kind of on the expensive side too. But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Any which way, then possibly leading up to doing more, you know, Infinite
More-
Earth stuff,
Right,
and like,
right.
and that's where I think on DC side of stuff they've really got it going on their TV is that they've leaned into the comic bookiness of it,
Yes.
and really run with it,
Yeah,
and
there's-
I think that's good. It's
Yeah.
really helped out.
Yeah.
And it's made the shows more fun and me getting more excited for them
And
every
it
year.
loosens up things you can do, right?
Yeah.
Hey, suddenly there's multiple Earths. All right, what does that mean? Oh, there are no rules anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, we can just tell stories.
Somebody gets a idea like, hey, why don't we do an evil Flash this time? Barry comes back and does this. Okay, which Earth is he from? You know?
7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna have Arrow come guest star in a couple episodes of Supergirl, and he's gonna be different version of Oliver Queen, a different
Sure.
actor, you
Right.
know, everything. But it's
Maybe
going to be
the actor
this
from Smallville.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
and
So-
that's where it leads into a lot of they can have a lot of fun crossover stuff with
Nice.
the multiverse stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that. And I can't remember the gentleman's name, but it was a good casting for the Monitor. I think once they put him in some, because there's also something else they've been doing really well with the costuming on the Arrowverse.
They really
stuff.
have, yeah.
Yeah, it's like good. Because I always get weary when it's like, oh no, they're going to be doing the Martian Manhunter, but even that with the CG has looked
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
And I'm kind of hoping maybe they might be able to bring over some of the Krypton stuff. That would be fun if they could incorporate a little bit of that into it. You know,
Yeah.
'cause that's
Or-
another show that's coming back that I can't wait for because that's also done amazing with the comic
I've
book
heard a lot of
references and
great
stuff. Like
things.
it's the first time that anybody's done Doomsday to make it look like Doomsday. Like it's that show's really well done too.
Cool.
So it'll be interesting to see how they do with that. And,
Yeah.
and speaking of DC, and we can move on to a little bit of movie information here
Yeah,
with this. Birds of Prey, they made some casting decisions with
Yeah.
that. One more person from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is entering the comic book world. We've got and I might not be getting her name right, Mary Elizabeth Winstead
Yeah.
is going to be playing the Huntress.
Yes.
And then we've got and I there's no way I can get her. Smell it, Bell. Small it, Bell. I'm not sure how to say her name right.
I don't know.
But she'll be playing the Black Canary. They did some casting on that, so that movie is progressing forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they've also said that the actress who played Harley Quinn's coming back. For it, too.
Yeah. Margot Robbie will be playing
Yeah.
Harley Quinn. She's kind of
I was-
the anchor of the film. So
I was about to say Margot Kidder, and I was like, no, that's Lois Lane.
yes, and she's not with us anymore.
No.
May she rest in peace.
Yes, but so that was cast. So we'll see how that goes, and then some random weird news today that popped up out of nowhere.
So
for
first of all,
December.
this week, the Dark Phoenix trailer came out.
Yes.
They were like, hey, Dark Phoenix, we're finally doing this movie. It's supposed to come out in November. We're pushing it back to Valentine's Day. Here's the trailer.
Yes.
And then today,
They announced that they're doing a special version of a PG-13 version of Deadpool 2. And what the earlier reports are coming out is that it's going to be a Princess Bride-esque
What?
PG-13 version of Deadpool 2. And the rumor mill says that it's going to have Fred Savage narrating. So I don't know how they're going to do this. Possibly Deadpool is going to sneak into Fred Savage's house, curl up in his bed, and say, read me a story.
Josh,
I don't know.
I think you just killed Stephanie.
I think maybe. Possibly.
You did. You killed me. It
She
was
fell
great.
over. She literally fell over. She almost fell out of her chair laughing.
But I don't know how they're going to do this. I'm hoping like there's and it's the internet, it's rumors, so we'll see how things go. We haven't actually had an official statement from Fox saying yes, Fred
Please
Savage
make
is
it
in
happen.
it. But there's been a lot of inside information being tossed around there that
Right.
he is
So-
in the cast now.
So what's interesting about that, though, right, is that they're putting that out this holiday season, right?
Yes.
So which is soon.
Yes.
Which I guess makes sense. Deadpool's already filmed. They
Yeah.
just need to recut it a little bit.
I mean, because they could literally just make a bedroom scene. They
Right.
could literally recreate the bedroom scene from Princess Bride
Right.
and
Yeah.
have just Ryan Reynolds
And it
and
would-
Fred Savage in there.
And it would probably take a week to film all
and then
that.
they
yeah.
throw him in a VO booth and
Right.
Bob
So
Jokl.
But that has this weird knock-on effect on a bunch of Fox's movies.
Yeah.
Right? Because, hey, we're putting out Deadpool again, so let's move everything else back to make more money off Deadpool 2.
Yes.
Which is fine. That's cool. I don't... Yeah, so now Dark Phoenix was supposed to come out Valentine's Day next year, and it got pushed back to June 7th.
Yeah.
June 7th was supposed to be the release date for Gambit. I didn't even realize that movie was still a thing.
Yeah, I didn't know they even started filming on that movie, let alone it was done.
There's still not a director for that movie.
Oh, really?
So
What have they been filming then?
I don't know. I don't know even know that it has been filming. Anyways, it was scheduled for June 7th next year. It got pushed back to March of 2020.
That makes sense.
And then Battle Angel Alita, which I think, is James Cameron doing that?
Yeah.
I know his name's been attached to that for a while.
Don't quote me.
Yeah,
on
I've seen previews for that already.
Right. So that got pushed back from December 21st to February 14th.
Again?
Okay.
It's been pushed back again?
Well, basically all of Fox's movies have been knocked back because of this Deadpool
This Deadpool thing took the place of Battle Angel Alita, and then that got took back and took the place of Dark Phoenix, and now Dark Phoenix is pushed back, taking the place of Gambit.
Yeah.
Which hasn't started filming yet.
This is something Deadpool would do.
You're not wrong.
No, you're definitely not wrong.
Deadpool is ruining all of science fiction, both in comics and real life.
Deadpool kills the X-Men universe.
Oh. Well, Disney's checkbook is going to kill the X-Men universe.
Okay.
Also, man, so that Dark Phoenix trailer, can I be negative for a little while? Because I hate being the bitchy comic book nerd. Okay, I really do.
You wouldn't be a comic book nerd if you weren't.
Well, there's that. So, listen, the X-Men are my first love in comics. Like, they're what got me into comics. Mm-hmm. And the Dark Phoenix saga, still 38 years later, is probably the best X-Men story. And it granted, saying that, hey, the Dark Phoenix saga is 8 issues. Like, no, it's 37 issues. Because it started in Uncanny X-Men 101. It ran to 137, or the whole Phoenix thing did.
Yeah.
The Dark Phoenix saga ran 129 to 137. I own 2 trade paperbacks of the Dark Phoenix saga. I own every issue digitally, and I own almost every issue in print. I own the beginnings and the end. I own the expensive ones. I just need to get the middle ones.
Some of the fillers.
Yeah. I was less concerned about those. I was like, let me focus on the expensive ones first. And then the story of the Dark Phoenix saga is the story of Jean Grey finding her sexuality, but it's encoded in superhero lore.
Okay.
And it's very much like, hey, this big cosmic bird from space came down and kind of took over me, because that's a weird analogy.
It's
for
comics
puberty.
And superheroes,
right? But it's all an analogy for awakening, like puberty awakening and stuff, right? Hey, the X-Men aren't kids anymore; they're adults now, and here Jean Grey got new powers and this crazy skin tight outfit with the sash, and her hair's flowy now instead of always in a ponytail, and blah blah blah. And I don't know, the trailer for this doesn't look like it has anything to do with that. It looks like it's just, hey, Jean Grey is bad now. And, Charles Xavier locked something away in her brain, and now it's finally coming out, and it's pissed. And it's like, yeah, but that's not...
The Dark Phoenix.
That's not what this story is.
Yeah.
Okay.
If the thing that you get out of the Dark Phoenix saga is that Jean Grey turned evil temporarily and then got better, I guess you could do that, but it's not that story. It's about a woman's empowerment and becoming an equal with the men and becoming more powerful than the men around her. And I feel like this trailer totally missed that. Also, the Dark Phoenix movie is written by the same guy that wrote X-Men 3.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And suddenly 1,000 cries.
Yeah.
Cried out in terror.
Yeah.
We are talking extra as in the one with Bullet Tooth Tony as the Juggernaut, right?
Yeah.
I'm the Juggernaut.
Right. Also, the last time they tried to make a Dark Phoenix movie, and it was god-awful.
Horrible.
Yeah. The one that was so bad they had to reboot the X-Men universe.
Yeah, Famke Jensen went into hiding for a while because she was one of the most successful actresses at the time, and then did X3 and then disappears for 10 years.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So we'll see, but I'm not super excited about that movie.
Yeah.
And it getting pushed back just means...
Well, maybe it's just a bad trailer.
It's possible.
There have been movies that have had really bad trailers.
Right.
Would have been really good movies.
I'm very much hoping for that.
Because a movie that I love and some people may disagree with me on this, that I thought was horribly marketed and the trailers were god-awful, was John Carpenter of Mars.
Yeah.
That was a good flick.
Yeah.
You know, the CG, you know, some spots was a little bit, but
that's
overall it was a good movie. It was an entertaining movie. I liked it the whole time, and that movie got killed. The sequels got killed because bad marketing.
Do you want to know something interesting? So I was watching this video, and this was maybe about a year or two ago, and it was like the top 10, movie trailers that were misleading.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, in all the trailers they were talking about, this one, the trailer was really good, but the movie sucked. Mm-hmm. Or this trailer was really good and the movie was even better. Mm-hmm. Or blah, 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 blah. Kingsman was on that list. Like Kingsman: The Secret Service.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there going like, why is Kingsman on here? That movie was fantastic. Apparently, the trailer actually got a lot of negative response at first because people thought, oh God, it's just another spy movie.
Yeah.
And then the movie came out and just blew everybody away. And I'm just like, and it was the only one on that list that went from a horrible trailer to a fantastic film. All the others were either the trailer was great and the movie was bad, or the trailer was okay and the movie was better. It was never the trailer actually got negative responses. So it was really interesting to learn.
Yeah. There's been a few movies like that over there, and then you have the opposite where the trailer is fantastic, like Cowboys and Aliens, and then the movie is horrible. You see the trailer, like, what's going on? Like, Cowboys
that
and
one was on the list.
So
Harrison Ford?
Check out Watch Mojo.
Speaking of great trailers and probably terrible movies, also the Bumblebee trailer came out this week.
Oh, that's right.
I'm actually intrigued by that.
I am too. I'm on board for it now.
So if X-Men is my first love in comics, Transformers is my first love in Saturday morning cartoons. I literally do not remember a time in my life where I did not love Transformers. My earliest memories include owning an Optimus Prime toy. And the original Optimus Prime toy, thank you. And I know I've told you guys this story individually. I don't think I've told it on the air. When Michael Bay's Transformers came out in 2007, that very first one, I was not excited necessarily, but I decided to go in with as open a mind as possible. My brother was going to the midnight showing with a bunch of his friends. I thought, cool, let me tag along. We were both still living at home at the time, and but it was July. But
are you okay over there? By the way, Josh nearly fell out of his chair too, but this time I'm not laughing.
Almost fall out of my chair. This thing goes way too far.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, continue.
Yeah. So it was July, but it was still the middle of the night. So I thought, I'll bring my hoodie, whatever. But it was a Transformers movie, so hey, I'm going to wear my Decepticon T-shirt because I'm, a nerd.
Yep.
I walked out of that movie with my hoodie zipped up in the middle of July because it was just so god-awful that I was embarrassed to be a Transformers fan. So I haven't seen any of the other Transformers movies. And every single one of my friends that sees them tells me how bad they are. And they say, you got to see it. And I'm like, no. No, because I'm not giving those things any more money. They make enough money that they help justify the cost of all the comics that I've been reading since then. IDW's run is fantastic, and I'm sad that it's coming to an end. But also, it's been like 15 years, so that's fine. Anyways, but this Bumblebee trailer, man, it looks like E.T. if E.T. turned into a car. And also, like, it's got a bunch of G1 design Transformers.
Yeah.
Like, they show Shockwave and Soundwave and Starscream and Thundercracker and Skywarp and a bunch of others that were flying by too quickly for me to actually get who they were. Optimus Prime shows up, and they look like the original 1984 designs, but updated, which is super cool. And I'm very excited for that. And I'm very scared that I'm very excited for a live-action Transformers movie, given how bad the last 10 years of them have been.
And I know I told you this, but I'm just going to say it again on the air. You should go see the movie, just, with your hoodie on, zipped up, hidden in the theater, and then if the movie is good, you walk out with the zip down showing your Decepticon shirt.
Yeah, if I still had that Decepticon shirt, that'd be a great idea.
Oh, you don't got no more?
No, I have a different one that says Megatron was right.
That works too. That works too. So
yeah,
no, I was indifferent about the movie, and then I saw those G1 characters, and I went, now I kind of want to see this. And yeah, it definitely did. It was like, Scooby snack, and I don't know. It's I looked it up a little bit, and there's a lot of people that are thinking, because they said that it's not a reboot, an official reboot of the Transformers universe.
Right, but it does take place 20 years before the other movies.
And so it's it might be a soft reboot, where if they go like, hey, we have 20 years we can play with of all these characters, let's just forget those other movies ever happened, and we're going to go here with this.
Right.
And have Bumblebee literally the only one that looks anything like
the original Bay
the Bayformers.
I'm still bummed that he can't talk, but maybe he's just not talking in the trailer, and they will address that in movie.
Yeah,
so,
maybe.
I don't know.
So, all right, I'm going to shift it over to another movie.
Yeah.
So they announced that Tom Hanks is going to be playing Mr. Rogers in this upcoming film. It's not going to be until October 2019, but the film is called You Are My Friend. So I'm sitting here going, okay, they picked the man who also played Walt Disney in Saving Mr. Banks.
He sure did.
So he's played the man behind the mouse, and now he's going to play the man behind our neighborhood. Well, that actually sounds really creepy. But no, but seriously though, like the guy who taught us all, like, kindness and respect and honesty and all that.
Yeah.
Who's he gonna play next? Bill Nye?
Hey, Mr. Wizard.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. I'm giving a bunch of huge props there to Tom Hanks for the fact that he's stepping up to play Mr. Rogers of all people.
Yeah.
So also I got two other things. I just want to shoot them out real quick. Another is, so recently on Netflix, Justin Willman.
Okay.
The magician and comedian that I've seen a couple times at the Tempe Improv.
Sure.
He came up with a special called Magic for Humans. I say go watch it. It is funny as hell.
Okay.
And it'll
Okay.
have you walking out, and it'll have you, walking away from your computer or your phone or whatever you watch it on, going, Magic for Susans. And I'm not going to explain why. I want you to go find out why. You will say that. So.
Alrighty.
And then my last thing is that, so a couple weeks ago I made the comment that I was going to my high school's homecoming game, and at the game, the band, because that's why I went back, that also because my brother plays varsity for the team, they played the song Hooked on a Feeling, and I was...
Ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka.
Oh, that dancing baby.
So, they were playing the song, and I was, dancing in the stands, and I started singing along to it, and the guard is singing along to it. And one of the girls turns around and looks to me and saying, "Oh, you like Guardians of the Galaxy too?" And I looked at her and I said, "Yeah, I like Guardians of the Galaxy. They're great films. Actually, my fiance is a Star-Lord." And she bought it. So, my fiance cosplays as Star-Lord.
Right.
But she took it.
He's got a really good costume,
He
too.
does have a really good costume, though, but she took it to a whole nother level, and it was fantastic.
She's there going, she's married or getting engaged to Chris Pratt? What?
Shh, we'll just go with that. So, but no, it was just a great reaction, and then just the fact that they were like, that's where they were associating the song, and that's kind of where I associate the song, but I do know where its origins are. It came back, it's a song from like the 80s, 70s, whenever that time was. So it's obvious that it's kind of funny that they're like associating it strictly with Guardians.
It's funny you say that because the comment I made about the dancing baby, time, puts he and I time in place because of Ally McBeal.
Right, which was the 90s show. Yeah.
Nice. So.
Oh man, it's too funny.
All right.
Real quick before we close out, one thing I want to mention real quick is in comic book news, Heroes in Crisis came out this week.
Ooh.
Yeah,
It's a DC crossover event, and it's got a lot of DC fans up in arms because DC had made a crossover event a while back. It was DC Rebirth that they were reintroducing a lot of characters and getting a lot of goodwill back with a lot of longtime comic book fans because of choices
Myself
they made.
included.
New 52, and even people that don't like DC were getting excited about DC with Rebirth, and a lot of the fans that have come back are just irate at Heroes in Crisis because...
Oh, there are people that are done. They're just like, no, I'm out. Bye.
Yeah, and I'm urging caution with that because at the central core, and I don't want to get too spoilery or anything like that with it because I think it's worth a read, but the central core is a character that's a time traveler. His whole shtick is time travel.
And fixing the timeline.
And, and always aspiring to be a better hero and things like that.
Right.
So... I'm just telling people, hey, go out, check it out. It's a decent story. Wait for the whole story to get done before you burn the place to the ground. Unless they kill Tim Drake, if they do that, then you have my permission to just burn it all down. Otherwise, though, just give it a little bit of try. Because remember, it is time travel and it's comic books. Nobody stays dead for long.
I have a friend of mine who would be in the same boat as you would be, Josh, if Tim Drake died.
Yeah. We find Dan Didio at that point.
Oh God, I don't even want to imagine what she would react to.
But yeah, so just keep in mind time travel. Enjoy comics. Have fun.
Yeah.
And on that note, we're about out of time. So.
All right.
Yeah.
It's time for us to get going.
It is. So, like we said before, guys, you guys can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check us out on Instagram. All of it is Atomic Monsoon, except for Instagram, which is Atomic_Monsoon.
Yeah, they wouldn't let me just have Atomic Monsoon. Nobody else has it. like no one else has just Atomic Monsoon.
How rude.
Thanks, Steph. But yeah, atomic_monsoon on Instagram, and I'll be posting weird stuff from my collection, and I'll give you guys the password and stuff. So you guys
once we start going out and doing more events and going to comic shops and doing things like that, we'll definitely start uploading some more stuff, more content for you guys as well.
But you're welcome, by the way, for the Full House reference.
Yes.
I will always try to add one from Stephanie Tanner every now and then.
There we go.
Anyway, also you can email us at atomicmonsoon@gmail.com. And if you guys... And also Redbubble. Yeah, we got some merch. Go check out our merch. And always, you can just check us out on the Variety channel right here on Voice America every Sunday at 10 a.m., at least for a replay, if you like replays and all.
And you can always download our past episodes as well on various medias, including
Google Play,
Voice America, Google Play, iTunes, like just...
Wherever you're listening to us, you can probably listen to every episode.
Yeah.
It's very true. So that's all I got.
We look forward to talking to everybody next time.
Give us a 5-star rating on iTunes.
Yeah, there we go. Right,
nice.
Make us feel fancy.
We'll wear our fancy hats next time.
Yeah.
If you do it. So.
Alrighty, well, we need to get out of here, guys. We gotta get going. Let these people get back to their lives.
Yeah,
What's
go back
lives?
and have fun.
All right, well, I'm Josh, and I'm going to be seriously binging some Destiny this weekend.
I'm Stephanie, and I'm going to go do some charity work this week, and I'm going to be a good Samaritan.
Oh, so you're a much better person than I am.
I only get one weekend, though.
I'm Andy, and Special Beam Cannon!
We're out!